This year has tested the world. Wars have continued in Ukraine, Palestine, Sudan, the Congo, and many other parts of the world. Lives lost, families displaced, uncertainty becoming a norm. We've witnessed floods, landslides, fires, and collapsing buildings. It has been the same year that we've seen violence reach ordinary places, streets, homes, workplaces. And we've been reminded how fragile stability really is. Even if these events did not touch your life directly, they shaped the world you lived in. They shaped the headlines, shaped the conversations, and most importantly, shaped the emotional weight people carried into each day. But while the world struggled loudly, many people struggled quietly. Some lost loved ones, parents, partners, friends. Some lost jobs, businesses, or a sense of security. Some worked hard and still watched their goals fall apart, and others simply felt exhausted without knowing why. And slowly a sentence formed for many people. This has been a bad year. This episode is for anyone who has thought like that. I want to welcome you back to the Achievers Podcast, a space for honest conversation about growth, pressure, resilience, and the realities behind achievement. And I want to thank people from the UK, Germany, and other European countries. They are the most people who have listened to our podcast, and also other parts of the world. And by the way, I want to ask you, why do you listen without subscribing? When you subscribe, it helps you to always get notified whenever we post any new episode. When you share, you like, you help others know that this podcast really exists. It is through you that other people are going to know about our podcast. So, I encourage you to subscribe. And subscription is free. So in today's episode, I want to tell you something that maybe you shouldn't call it a bad year. This is not a motivational episode. It is a clarifying one. There are years that disappoint us, and there are years that quietly reshape us. This episode is for anyone who feels that this year did more of the second. If you've already said quietly or loudly that this has been the worst year of my life, let me say this clearly. That sentence makes sense. You don't need to explain it. You don't need to soften it. And you don't need to be ashamed of it. But today, I want to offer you something careful and honest. Not to deny what happened, but to decide what it means. We live in a moment in history where pressure is constant, bad news travel faster than good news, work rarely ends, information never rests, uncertainty is no longer occasional, it's ongoing. So if you've been asking yourself, why am I always tired? Why is it hard to focus? Or maybe, why does progress feel slower than it used to? That is not personal failure, that is context, and context really matters. Here is a distinction worth holding on. A year can hurt you without defining you. The most dangerous thing about a hard year, it is not what it takes from you, it is the meaning you attach to the loss. Because meaning shapes the posture shapes decisions, and decisions shapes direction. Same events, different interpretations, and different future. This is not philosophy, this is how lives change. We live in a culture that celebrates outcomes, growth, visibility, achievement, but psychology and lived experience tells us something quieter. Some seasons are not designed for expansion. They are designed for endurance. Staying functional under prolonged pressure requires intelligence. regulating emotions, making decisions while exhausted, continuing without certainty. If all you did this year was survive, you were not stagnant, you were adapting. And adaptation is high-level human skill. Let me tell you this, hard years don't just exhaust us, they reorganize us. They clarify what you can no longer tolerate, what you were chasing for the wrong reasons, where you were overextending yourself. They remove illusions. And while losing illusions hurts, living without them is clearer. You may feel like you lost time this year, but often what we lose is noise. Now let's move from reflection to urgency. At some point today or this week, take a piece of paper and divide it into 2 columns. On the left, you can write what changed me, but be honest, it can be loss, fear, disappointment, maybe plans that didn't work, or maybe moments that tested your confidence. Don't minimize it because accuracy really matters. And on the other side, or the right side, you write what I gained, not achievement, not highlights, just gains. Just for example, what did you learn about yourself? What did you survive that once scared you? What are you clearer about now? What boundaries formed? Or maybe what strength developed quietly? Then step back and look at both sides. This is what you will note, that the challenges were events, the gains became traits. The challenges happened to you and the gains stayed with you. That changes the balance. You also realize that, by the way, you've been more concentrating on the bad thing that happened to you and overlooking the good things that happened to you. Why I say maybe you shouldn't call it a bad year, because bad years only take. Hard years also give clarity, resilience, discernment, character. And this brings us to the principle worth remembering. Every setback is setting something up. Every hard day is building the character your future will require. This is not just a slogan, that's how growth works. And before we end, let me make the lessons clear. Life doesn't measure years the way we do. First humans, we just measure years by outcomes. Life measures years by capacity. If this year increased your capacity to endure, to choose wisely, to stand firmer, then it was not wasted, even if it wasn't rewarding. If you are listening right now and you feel behind, hear this clearly, you are not late. You are navigating something real, and survival does not disqualify you from achievements. It prepares you for it. You are still here, still thinking, still capable of growth, which means the story is unfinished. And most importantly, unfinished stories still have options. Thank you for spending this time on the Achievers Podcast. If this episode helped you to understand your year more clearly, share it with someone who might need that same clarity. And remember, a hard year doesn't decide who you become, but what you learn from it. See you in our next episode, and don't forget to subscribe, follow, share, and like. Bye bye.